behind doing all the hard work, compiling all the video and testimonial. So I would like to really thank Dr. Abel for all the effort and hard work. So let us begin the webinar today, which is we would like to look into how actually Homa Therapy can help all the central nervous CNS system diseases. So before I invite our key speakers for today, I'm Hooi Lin, actually. I'm Persatuan I-Inspire president and the host for today. So let me invite Dr. Lennie. Maybe can you share with us what are the most common CNS system illnesses that you have come across? The most common, I think, like in Asian or in your clinical practice, what are the one that actually so-called we humans suffer the most? Dr. Lennie, now I pass the floor to you.
Thank you very much, Hooi Lin, for the introduction. Well, I think I need to explain a little bit first about the main function of the central nervous system. The central nervous system is responsible for receiving, processing, responding to sensory information. Sensory means everything that is around us. So our central nervous system is responsible for receiving, for us interacting with the outside world, and the outside world interacting with us. The brain is an organ of the nervous tissue that is responsible for responses, sensation, movements, emotions, communication, thought processing, and also memory. So today our topic is very important because it touches upon something that I'm very interested in, which is the mental health. If your central nervous system is not working, then it literally means your thought processing, your memory, your emotions are not working. You may experience some sort of central nervous system disorder. So, and just to recap, when the central nervous system essentially is the body's processing center. The brain controls most of the function of the body, including our awareness, movement, thinking, speech, and the 5 senses of seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, and smelling. So the spinal cord is an extension of the brain. So this is basically what is the main or the 3 broad function of CNS. You can take it all and say, put it into 3 silos, that is sensory information, process information, and it sends out motor signals. Now, in terms of what kind of issues can happen when the central nervous system is compromised. When the central nervous system or the peripheral nervous system is compromised, of course, you will have a lot of difficulties. You will have difficulties thinking, difficulties sleeping, difficulties eating, difficulties, processing information, difficulties interacting and functioning on a daily basis with the rest of the world, because it is so important. You may not also be able to walk. So a lot of people with brain injury or central nervous system injury, they are in a coma state, or worse, they are paralyzed, or they are a vegetable. So the central nervous system, the diseases of the central nervous system, have a direct impact on our mental, physical, emotional, and psychological state. On this, I hope, I have covered what basically is the central nervous system. And now I pass the floor back to Dr. Abel. Dr. Abel?
Yeah. So now you'd like to invite Dr. Abel. Maybe you can share with us like your experiences, like applying Homa Therapy, for all your cases, your interesting stories. So this is our speaker, monthly Homa Therapy speaker. So Dr. Abel, I will stop my slide share here so that you can share whatever you'd like to share, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Soo. Thank you, Mrs. Hooi. It is a great joy to be with you all the time. It is also wonderful. Today we have the opportunity to be accompanied by some good friends like Dr. Jesus Ventimilla. You can see there. Dr. Jesus Ventimilla is also with us. Dr. Cesar Marino was a few minutes ago there. We have Mr. Abai Muntalik from India. We have from different countries. Mr. Harold and Patricia Hortet from Colombia. It's a nice rainbow of colors from different countries. So we are very happy. And if you don't mind, because some of these people are mainly Spanish people, I will tell them to connect with the close-ups, so because they probably can read the close-ups, closed caption, right? Entonces, a las personas de habla española o de castellano, les podemos decir que en la parte inferior hay un closed captions, o donde se ponen los títulos de lo que estamos hablando en inglés. Pueden abrir eso en inglés y se les hace más fácil leer. Que pronto vamos a tenerlo traducción simultánea. Hopefully also we're working on the English translation maybe for the future. Anyway, continue with Dr. Soo presentation about the central nervous system. Today we'll talk some. It's very difficult to cover everything. However, we'll do our best today. The etiologies, the causes of the problems in central nervous systems are many. Some are physical trauma. When somebody is hit or fall or have an accident or something like this, that can create some damage either in the brain or the spinal cord or on the peripheral nervous area. There could be some problems. But also there are some other problems besides this trauma that could be metabolic. When something inside the body is not working correctly, biochemically speaking, there could be some problems also. When in some cases we have genetic and people are born with certain deficiencies or difficulties with the central nervous system. That is very difficult to treat. However, today we'll look into that. And there is some called iatrogenic with many factors. When something from outside, chemical, can come into the body and affect the central nervous systems. And we can see, for example, when people are exposed to some type of poisonous that it affects the nervous system. So we'll talk about that today. I'd like to start. People are coming. Just we pass the word to people are coming, and we'd like to start with the trauma, physical trauma, and some other metabolic cases. And I hope everybody can get the information. As I said, there is many Spanish-speaking people, but we have the subtitles down below. Tenemos los subtítulos abajo para las personas que hablan español. En inglés, pongan inglés para que les salgan los subtítulos. Okay, so shall we start with the first case? Mrs. Hui, Dr. Soo, shall we start?
I think so. I think that's a good idea.
Wonderful. Okay, let's do that. Vamos a comenzar con un primer caso.
Can you tell me your name, please?
Marjorie Velázquez.
And your daughter, what is her name?
Carla.
Can you tell us where we are now?
We are in Guayaquil, at Dr. Montofer's office.
At Dr. Jaime Montufar's, at the Homa Medical Center, the Good Shepherd. You had some problems before coming here. Can you tell us what those problems were? What happened after you came here and started the treatment?
Well, when I first came here, I couldn't walk, and I came here using a three-legged walker, but only because they had given me some injections to help me walk. When I came here, Dr. Montofer gave me this treatment, and I have been in Homa Therapy, and it has gone well, very well for me. Now I can walk, I can bend down, so I feel very good.
When you couldn't walk and were using the walker, what diagnosis had you been given?
That I have 4 herniated discs.
4 herniated discs. In which part of the spine?
Dorsal and cervical.
4 hernias in the cervical and dorsal areas?
Yes, 4 herniated discs.
How long have you had this problem?
10 years.
And how many years have you had the strongest pains?
I've had the strongest pains for 2 years.
How long have you had herniated discs?
10 years.
10 years in which you have consulted with neurologists and other specialists. And how long have you been coming to consult with Dr. Montufa?
2.5 months. And I'm already as you see me.
Get up, please. I have to see this. Come here. You move very easily. It doesn't seem like you've suffered that long.
And besides, I can bend down.
So much time suffering, and in 2 months you got rid of the problem.
I couldn't go up or down in the stairs because I live on a high floor, and they had to help me, and I use a cane.
Did you have an MRI?
Yes, I have an MRI.
And have you had an MRI done recently?
Not recently, but I already know. I have faith that everything is fine.
Sure. So that helped you physically with that pain. And what else has improved?
On an emotional level, among my family there was some tension. I don't know if it was due to worries, to the bad economy of the country, or something else. Since we were coming to the fires, Agnihotra and Triambakan, everything is much better. There is more communication in my home. There is more peace, more love. My girl is, as you see her, quiet. And now she talks a little more. She relates better with others. And if she doesn't like something, she says so. Now she really wants to study. I have helped her a lot for several years, so that she can have a better life.
Carla, how old are you?
18.
All right. So you had to go to a psychologist or something before?
Yes.
And have you taken the ash?
Yes.
Can you tell me anything? How has Homa Therapy helped you?
I am better.
Do you feel calmer? Can you talk a little better?
Yes.
Do you no longer feel a lump on your throat or butterflies on your stomach?
No, nothing.
Very good, Carla. I'm glad to hear that. But Marjorie, you wanted to tell me something about your father too, right?
Yes. That is the greatest miracle. We were also suffering because he was practically a vegetable in his bed. He is 86 years old and suffers from Alzheimer's disease. He no longer recognizes us. When we visited him, we touched him, and he didn't care. He didn't feel anything. But I told my mom that since the doctor's medication didn't work for him, we should give him the ashes.
What is his name?
His name is Cristobal Velázquez.
And how old is he?
86 years old.
And since when has he had that problem of an
pain? Is Dr. Line okay? Dr. Lennie, you can hear, right?
Okay, I can hear. I think Dr. Abel has kind of like stepped out for a while because his line, I think, is not very stable. But you have seen the videos, and maybe what I can do here is I can share a little bit about what we have done and what has been happening here in Malaysia. In Malaysia, a lot of people. Okay, sorry, Dr. Abel is back.
Yeah.
One second. The laptop, the battery was down, but I reconnected, and so I'm connected with the other phone. I'm gonna go get back. I hope everybody else there that didn't get cut off.
Sure, no problem. Dr. Lennie is sharing about the cases in Malaysia. That is there any like similar to the video?
Okay, one thing that we have found is that not so much with spinal cord injury, or like in the case that was shared just now, but in the recovery of spinal cord injury. So when it comes to recovering from spinal cord injury, or from any, like for me, I have a broken neck and all that, it really helps to have that fire, the heat, and you can really start to feel the heat going into your system, and you can literally feel the healing as it goes in. So that's why I believe that, for what the testimonials of the other who have practiced Homa Therapy and who have successfully been able to stand and everything else, I don't think this is a miracle as such. I think the ions and the enzymes and the minerals, trace minerals especially, and trace elements that is released from the dung and from the mixture at the right time, at the right place, with the entire universal energy onto the pot, can really produce some sort of miraculous recovery, because these trace elements that goes into us that we lack kind of like fulfill it. And perhaps in some ways, there is no evidence of this. There's no scientific evidence of this, but it seems like it does activate some sort of healing mechanism within us. Perhaps even activate some dormant stem cells. Now, we all have stem cells in our body, and these stem cells is required for our body to heal, right? Perhaps this Agnihotra fire does help in activating the dormant stem cells that we have in our body, and in this way, it will slowly begin to, our body does get the healing that it needs, especially when it comes to the brain. The brain actually does not have a bony structure. It is a very soft tissue, consists mainly of oils and very soft things. So when it comes to our brain, damage to the brain is more like a soft tissue damage. And that makes it quite difficult sometimes to actually heal from the soft tissue damage, especially to a brain. But what happens, I think, with when you do Agni is the inhalation of the smoke. When you inhale the smoke, some parts of the smoke seems to get past the blood-brain barrier. And getting past the blood-brain barrier directly into the brain appears to have some sort of healing effect on the overall recovery of that brain, even though it's injured, especially perhaps in those who have suffered from a stroke and mild stroke, for example. Make this part of your recovery therapy. And if it becomes part of your recovery therapy, for some particular reasons that is unknown right now, it seems to be able to get you to walk or get you past the disability that you get from a stroke a lot faster. I think Dr. Abel have actually joined us already, and so I will return the floor to him. Has he joined us, Hooi Lin?
Yes, he came in already. Dr. Abel, is your PC okay already? I saw his name.
Yes, 1 second. I'm about to get in with a computer. Right now I'm connected with a phone, but I like to get with a computer, so it's easier to share.
Okay.
It's about getting
Sure,
now.
no problem.
Now
I
it
don't
should come
have
up.
any specific evidence at this moment. I mean, in terms of like videos and all that. But yeah, in the future, in our future talk, we can get videos also from Malaysia. There is a few members in Malaysia. I think So is one, and there is also Professor Khairuddin, who is another, who both experience mild stroke and who practices Agnihotra. And these people seems to recover from quite serious stroke that affected maybe more than 1/3 of their brain. So considering, when your brain is affected 1/3 by stroke, the disability could be quite damaging and could interfere with your functionality. But for some reason, when they practice Agni, they can actually see and feel that kind of recovery. We also have seen some pain relief for people with scoliosis. And I'm very happy, to see Dr. Alan Yong here. And he has been having, hello, Dato. He has been having some health issues. He's joining us from Australia. And, but, his experience with Agnihotra, and he's the one that, helped us in Malaysia to develop this Agnihotra as well. Dr. Alan, would you like to just say hi to everybody? Dr. Alan, would you?
Okay.
Yes, Dr. Lennie.
Hello, Dr. Alan.
And
Hi.
also Dr. Abel.
Also,
Yes.
hello, Joy. To see me, Alan Johnny with us, and it's a lot of people today. Okay, we were watching the testimony. A lady. Let me play back a little bit. There is some echo. Let's see what is the problem here. But anyway, let's share. We already showed some portions, so we don't repeat it again. We'll continue.
Physically with that pain, and what else has improved?
On an emotional level, among my family there was some tension. I don't know if it was due to worries, to the bad economy of the country, or something else. Since we were coming to the fires, Agnihotra and Triambakan, everything is much better. There is more communication in my home. There is more peace, more love. My girl is, as you see her, quiet. And now she talks a little more. She relates better with others. And if she doesn't like something, she says so. Now she really wants to study. I have helped her a lot for several years so that she can have a better life.
Carla, how old are you?
18.
All right, so you had to go to a psychologist or something before?
Yes.
And have you taken the ASH?
Yes.
Can you tell me anything? How has Homa Therapy helped you?
I am better.
Do you feel calmer? Can you talk a little better?
Yes.
Do you no longer feel a lump on your throat or butterflies on your stomach?
No, nothing.
Very good, Carla. I'm glad to hear that. But Marjorie, you wanted to tell me something about your father too, right?
Yes. That is the greatest miracle. We were also suffering because he was practically a vegetable in his bed. He is 86 years old and suffers from Alzheimer's disease. He no longer recognized us. When we visited him, we touched him, and he didn't care. He didn't feel anything. But I told my mom that since the doctor's medication didn't work for him, we should give him the ashes.
What is his name?
His name is Cristobal Velasquez.
And how old is he?
He's 86 years old.
And since when has he had the problem of Alzheimer's disease?
He has had it for 2 years, but he is also diabetic. Although that is under control, but his legs were amputated, and despite that, he was still an active man, so much so that he used to dance in his wheelchair.
Did they amputate a leg?
No, both.
And he has had Alzheimer's for 2 years?
2 years, yes. And since the beginning of this year, he no longer controls his sphincters. But now, thanks to the ash, he let us know when he wants to go to the bathroom. He no longer wants to wear diapers.
And has he started to recognize people again?
Yes, he already recognizes us. He tells me, "My child, it is you." But before he used to tell me that he didn't know who I was. He used to ask who my father was. Now I tell him, "I am Marjorie." And he responds, "Ah, daughter, how are you and your daughters and your husband? The one with the band is your husband, right?" Before, he didn't remember anyone. For a year and a half, more or less.
So he was on allopathic medicine for about a year and a half.
Yes, and they were of no use to him. They made him feel even worse. On the other hand, with the Homa treatment, he is very calm. I even told the doctor that he sleeps like a baby. And before, he wouldn't let us sleep. His sleeping schedule was messed up. But he is better now. He can recognize us again. Just so you know, Saturday was my mom's birthday, and he sang. He even said to my mom, "Happy birthday to you, my love."
Are you giving him the ash?
Yes, he's taking the ash, and after I come to the fire, I bring him the ghee with ash, and I put it here, on his head, and on his eyelids. He tells me, "Honey, put it on my ears too, because I can't hear very well." And then he tells me that the doctor ordered this, and I tell him that now the master is ordering it. And he tells me, "Thanks you, honey. I know I'm going to get better. I'm going to be better." And that's my greatest happiness, that he now recognizes us and is better. He has a better quality of life. Thank you, master, and thank you, doctor.
Thank God. Thank you very much. God bless you. Very good.
Okay, this testimony was several people, the mother, the daughter, and she was talking about her father and his something is herniated disc, 4 herniated disc. There was some other kind of problems, and metabolic and so on. But since the time is running, I'd like to share a little bit more, and at the end, we'll talk a little bit of the different perspectives and point of views, okay? When we play the videos, it's not good to put captions there because there are already captions in the video and they're quite large and it looks much better with the video itself. But when we are talking, it is good to look at the captions in at the bottom. So whatever we're talking, it comes out on the screen. En español. Cuando estamos viendo el video, hay subtítulos ya en inglés para los que lo pueden leer. Cuando estamos viendo el video, no necesitan tocar la parte inferior del Zoom donde dice captions. Simplemente ven el video con las captions del video porque son mucho más grandes. Cuando estamos hablando, cuando la doctora Soo o nosotros estamos hablando, tocan caption y aparece el escrito. Okay? So, vamos a continuar compartiendo. We will continue sharing some more videos. Quickly, let me see here. Which is very interesting because it's a Mr. Carlos Perfect, just like that, perfect. But he's not perfect. You will see he's not perfect, but his last name is Perfect. Let's see what happened with him.
I am Francisco Germán. Francisco Germán. Is he your brother Carlos Perfecto? Yes, Carlos Perfecto. And he is 49 years old? Yes, 49 years. What diagnosis did the doctor give him? Muscular atrophy. Muscular atrophy. How long ago was that? 3 years ago. What was he working on? In agriculture, fumigating with glyphosate. So, you tell me that you have brought him 10 times to the Agnihotra, to the therapy that we are doing here. Yes, 10 times more or less. And what changes have you seen in him? Before, he didn't move his feet at all, and now he has already started to move them. And he didn't move his head either. No, he couldn't move his head. He could not stick his tongue out, and now he has started to stick it out. Oh, he couldn't get his tongue out, and he's already sticking it out. To give him water with a straw, and he couldn't drink it. So he couldn't drink water with a straw, and now he takes water straight from the glass. Also, he couldn't eat meat, chicken, or anything like that. Can you move your feet a bit? Now he eats many things. Without a doubt, he is much better. Is he taking the Agnihotra Ash? He's taking it all very well. Is he coming to the Agnihotra fights? We bring him in the morning and in the afternoon. Very well. Thank you.
Now, this was in a farm area, and people used to come from 1 hour, 2 hours distance, and these people will come in the morning and the evening. And I was very surprised because sometimes even they had to come in a taxi for 1 hour, 2 hours, even 3 hours, one way, and then the other way around. Anyway, let's go to share another one. Oh.
She was 8 years old when she got sick. She was in the hospital for 3 months, and she couldn't walk. They said it was chorea syndrome, but in the reality, the doctors didn't know what she had. She was examined by psychiatrists, but they didn't know what she had. Nobody knew what the problem was. Then Alivio told me, "You have the tools, you can help her." And then, with the help of the Agnihotra, my daughter is here today. Now she's 28 years old.
The little girl that was in the chair is the one that is next to her, the black outfit. Okay, that's her daughter.
She has never had that disease again, and well, it was an incredible experience, thanks to her Nihotra. She was in the hospital for 3 months without being able to walk, and then, due to Agnihotra, she began to walk. She began to take her first step, and today she is here without any sign of that disease or anything. She does not suffer from it at all.
She's in Spain. That's how she was when she was younger, and then you saw her after many years how she had recovered completely. Okay.
That is an amazing testimonial, isn't it? I mean, she was in hospital for 3 months.
Yes, and didn't know exactly what it was, so they say like Korea syndrome, but you know, there is so much. They just let's go for another one before it runs out. Okay. Oh, I show this one. We have seen it before, but I will show it again. Now, before we forget, in this group, there is Mr. Harold Hernandez and his wife, Patricia Ornett. They are the one who have been dubbing and adding subtitles to the video. We thank them very much because thanks to them, we can appreciate what is going on here. A great part of it. So
Thank you, really. Really impressive video.
now, this is, for me, is one of the most amazing healing testimony, but I'll let you see by yourself, judge.
Today we are
My name is Dolores Marisol Ordóñez Cedeño.
Today we are at Dr. Jaime Montufar's office. Why did you come here?
A speech therapist from the hospital brought me. He told me about this, and since then I have attended the therapy sessions with my son.
For how long have you been coming here?
I have been coming here for 7 months, and I have seen many changes.
You have been coming to Homa Therapy with Dr. Montufar. And what is the child's diagnosis or problem?
My son's diagnosis is ICP, or infantile cerebral palsy.
How old is he now?
He's 9 years old.
Have you noticed any change since you started coming here?
Yes, many. For example, he didn't babble. Now he's babbling. He didn't move his arms. He didn't even crawl. He didn't walk. He didn't keep his neck upright. Now he does. He even maintained the same weight. He didn't go up from 12 to 15 pounds. He maintained that weight for many years. Now he weighs much more. He already weighs 35 pounds.
You have seen all these changes in just 7 months?
Yes, all these changes.
Does he try to walk?
Now he tries to walk. He gets in and out of bed, and before he didn't. Here he takes off his shoes himself, and when it's time to leave, he takes off his shoes.
By the way, when we do the Homa Therapy, all these healing fires, we take off the shoes to ground and get this energy from the sun. If we are touching the ground, that is the when we get effects.
He tries to help himself get dressed. He already picks up the pencil. He picks it quite easily, and before he didn't. Now he stays put in the chair. When I sit him down, he stays in the chair. He's at a normal school, and the teachers are amazed because he's the first to finish the homework, and even I am surprised. They call me in the first quarter of the evaluations, and to be honest, I thought they were calling me to remind me of the school fees because I hadn't paid them yet. But I was surprised that my son was among the first 3 students, and I didn't imagine he was the first. I imagined that he was the third. But when they gave me the news, I was surprised because he was the best student. My son got a gold medal in school.
Incredible. What is his name?
Name is Guillermo Alfredo Carmona Ordóñez.
And all this has happened.
You can see the young child on the right-hand side. He's opening his mouth. He's chanting the mantra before he could not even pronounce anything.
In the span of 7 months?
In the past 7 months.
Can I ask you a question, please, Marisol? In these 6 months, how much money have you spent here with the treatment?
$2.
Totally free. Let me ask you, if you met a mother with a child who had similar problems, what would you tell her?
I tell her to come to Homa Therapy as soon as possible because Homa Therapy has done miracles, many miracles for my son. I thank God and that angel who was the therapist that brought me here, and the doctor that has helped me a lot because he has helped me gain the courage necessary to continue dealing with my son's problem.
This is the waiting room, or that was the waiting room of Dr. Montufar's consulting.
A big round of applause for the child who is already walking, and also for his mother.
Another amazing testimony, Dr. Abel.
Yes, yes, yes. And the most amazing thing, I mean, everything here is amazing. I myself, I have seen this, we saw this, they were with us, and even though we believe we say, I only believe what I can touch and what I can see. Sometimes it's hard to believe that it's possible. You know, the child could not raise the head, could not pronounce anything, who was all this, and then you see what happened. But not only that, became a very good student. And the last thing that we heard, this child, this was in 2008, the year 2008. But the last thing we heard, that now he's about to graduate as a lawyer. He's in the city of Quito, and he's, about to become a lawyer. This will be really, if the divine chose, if I get to see him again, to record it will be amazing. But this happened in Guayaquil. Quito is the capital. It's another city far away, about 8 hours from here, and it's a big to find this young man is not that simple. But let's see what is there. What happened is whatever we saw is already amazing. Just imagine if it happened to be, because I cannot promise that he's becoming a lawyer, but just imagine it is possible. It is possible. And let's share more because the time is running. How many minutes do I have left, Mrs. Hooi? How many minutes do I have left?
You still have at least, we can cut off until open to Q&A only at 9:15, but I think you still have about 15 minutes. Now it's about 8:50. You still have 15 minutes, don't worry. You can share, don't worry.
Okay, 15 minutes, 1-5, right? 1-5.
1-5.
I just want to add one thing about the last video that we just saw. ICP, all right, is a very, very difficult medical condition. It's very difficult because it's a condition that is caused when during pregnancy before birth. It's an intrauterine prenatal condition. So the damage often is immense, right? And a lot of times these children got no hope. There is no hope for them to walk. There is no hope for them to go to school. And there is even less hope for them to become a lawyer. But it is really interesting to see that, they can actually, what Homa Therapy can do. And perhaps, a lot of these things like cerebral palsy and the damages that occurs after birth, postpartum, infection and all that, it sort of like disrupt the bloodstream to the brains. And perhaps one thing that Homa Therapy might have been doing is to reactivate this bloodstream into the brain, creating that kind of miracle cure that we are seeing in the last testimony. I think, Dr. Abel, what is your view on that? On how it affects the circulation?
Truly speaking, some time ago, I already abandoned many of my learned knowledge that I got at the university, because this is like, it's almost like taking off the head and putting it into the blender. Many things go away. When you have, for example, and we have seen it with Down syndrome, we have seen it with mental retardation, we have seen it with many genetic diseases. When you have something genetic, you're limited. What can you do with something you're born with this, and it's in the genes? How can you do this? How can it happen? Many things you can do: surgery, you can do some other rehabilitation, you can do so many things. But when you are born with a genetic problem, what can you do? However, we have seen even with genetics that this science of Homa Therapy, Ayurveda, can restructure. It goes beyond that. And one time, I remember many years ago, besides the regular conventional medicine, I was practicing a lot of this astrology, medical astrology. Medical astrology, you can see the stars and you can see which areas are complicated and so on before it even happened. And then it will manifest. So, but even in those cases, there is not much you can do. there's not much you can do. So when we do this and this happened, that is, you know, you might not believe on any of this stuff, and I'm not asking anybody to believe anything, but it is like if there is divine intervention and things can be restructured and can be adjusted. But let's not talk much about this divine thing. But I'll just share with you the testimonies, and it is up to you. I mean, most of the people here already looking into that, but people can manage to start practicing. I tell, don't believe anything, do not believe anything, put it to the test, and then share your information with us, because we're always learning. So let me share one more time, because as I said, we're talk, but that is, when you see this, the talk is stronger. What the information is stronger. Okay. This is very easy, but it's common, you know, people who have this bleeding in the brain, and there is some paralysis on the side, and usually that can be treated, and they can do rehabilitation, and it can recover more or less without much difficulties. But sometimes it's very fast with Homa Therapy, and there is no side effects, negative or left out from that. Some people do have left out. Let me just show one more. Partial stroke.
You take me by surprise. I really wasn't ready to share my experience with Homa Therapy.
What is your name?
My name is Maria Cordova Granda. As it happens to most human beings, despite the fact that here in Piura I have been working with young people on issues such as affectivity, integral development, and human development. One day I came into conflict with myself, and I felt very bad. I needed to find a light, and I asked God for help because I felt depressed. And I asked myself how it is possible for me to feel this way if I dream of a better world. And I tried to teach God things to young men and women and talk to them about alternatives, about building a good life project, trying to motivate them. How can I be that I am in conflict with myself and end up feeling in total darkness? Back then, I met an old friend. I told him about my experience and said to him I didn't know why I was feeling that way. I didn't know what was wrong with me. Sometimes I wish I had wings to fly away. I think this happens to all of us. But the good thing is that I told someone, and my friend told me, maybe it's because you are close to being menopausal. And instead of helping me, that made me feel worse. 4 days later, I suffered a peripheral facial stroke, plus there was medical negligence, which even though I could have, I decided not to report. And precisely on those days that I suffered the stroke, I met with Abel, and a friend of mine, to whom I am very grateful for bringing me to Homa Therapy. So I started doing the therapy in the morning and the afternoon.
What problems did the stroke cause on your face?
My eyelids were almost 80% closed. The left side was numb, and I couldn't eat because everything fell out of my mouth. I lost my vision. My head hurt a lot. My face was completely deformed. And thanks to the therapy, I had an incredible recovery in a very short time.
Long exactly?
Well, I felt the changes in 13 days, and in less than a month I was perfect. I have met women who after 4 years have not been able to recover. I have told them that they must have a lot of faith. I have even invited them to Homa Therapy. Because of the experience I have had, let me tell you, this is a miracle from God. I continue to practice Homa Therapy because it allows us to return to the silence, to do the inner work that we need. Because we live surrounded by a lot of external stimuli, but every day we must think and go deep within ourselves and work inwards. Homa Therapy has helped me to work on myself because in order to help others, you have to start by helping yourself. Otherwise, what can you give? And I continue on this path because this is not something immediate, but a process in which we keep getting results, and that is all.
Okay, I think I'm running out of time, but there is so much sharing and so beautiful. You see, it's not only the physical or the biochemical or energetic, even the psychological aspect. I mean, how many times you will see people talking a day? Now I like to work inwards. I want to get connected with the divine within. So this is something that's secondary for many people, but it becomes very important for the people who start with Homa Therapy. It is not the only thing. You have to take care of the basis, and then you go higher and higher. To go to the penthouse, you have to make sure you have a strong base. You have to have be able to navigate on the all different levels. So now we're open, and Dr. Soo, Dr. Soo,
Hello,
and
yes, Dr. Abel. Yeah, I'm here. We open the floor for questions. You can ask us anything. We are many of us here are expert in Homa, but today we want to focus on the central nervous system and the brain. So ask us anything about Homa Therapy and the central nervous system and the brain, and we'll try our best to answer your question.
And besides, I think Dr. Motofer, he is here as well. Okay. Dr. Abel, today you shared a few cases actually from his clinic, right? Maybe you introduce about Dr. Motofer. I think because the last time, 2 years ago, you brought him into our webinar. But I think today some of them who just joined might not know about him. Because today a few cases actually from his clinic, right?
Yes.
I saw his
So maybe we can get Dr. Jamie Montufar to tell us a little bit about his work. He can speak in Spanish, it's okay.
I do the captions in Spanish for him. Yeah, he's here of the video. Maybe Dr. Abel, you can introduce Dr. Montufar a bit.
He is attending a case in the hospital today. He just connected to listen, but he is not be able to talk right now.
Okay, understand.
We'll have him in another moment.
Another session, yeah.
Give us more time, but he has treated
sí, maestro, sí.
doctor. Buen día.
Bueno, no puedo hablar mucho porque ya usted sabe que estoy en el hospital, pero
le acabo de decir esto.
Saludarlo y agradecerle por las menciones que está haciendo con mis pacientes. Sí, estoy muy feliz de poder haber ayudado a muchas personas con la terapia Homa. Y parece ser que se siguen evolucionando positivamente, ¿no? Sobre todo el caso del paciente Guillermito. Sí, que ya pronto va a ser un abogado en el Ecuador, ¿no?
Perfecto.
Brillante. Y así hemos visto muchos casos, ¿no? Como gracias a la terapia Homa, estas personas van evolucionando positivamente a pesar de que son problemas genéticos, a pesar de que han sido enfermedades que se han desarrollado dentro de su vientre, del vientre de la mamá. Bueno, pero han podido evolucionar positivamente gracias a la terapia Homa.
Muy bien,
Entonces,
doctor. Gracias,
gracias.
doctor.
Gracias con
Gracias.
todos. Con Tri.
So Dr. Montufar is telling us that he's very happy we're sharing some of these testimonies. And yes, like this is amazing how this, especially talking about Guillermito. Guillermito is the child with a cerebral palsy. He said that, you know, certain problems which are developed within the womb of the mother, the genetic origin, it's very difficult to believe that anything can happen like them, like we have seen this case. And yes, he have been told again that he is about to become a lawyer. So as soon as we get more information and I'd like to get a video here and show to everybody, because the video talks, you know, the image talks. So this is good. So okay. As I say, he's in the hospital. He cannot be shown. He cannot come up with the image right now. He's there, but in another situation, he will come out with us. Okay. Any other comment or questions?
Any other question?
You see Patricia Horte, she's there in a picture with the fire, and Harold Hernandez, you see in the gallery, both of them, they have helped us, as I said, to put this together, because the originally is in Spanish. And Mother Dora, you see her with in front of the fire. She is a key column of fire, a key player in all this all over. She's in Colombia, and but her work is everywhere with Homa Therapy. We have nice people. We have many nice people from different countries. We have here also, there were some people, Abai Mutalid. Abai, can you come up into the image? Into the Abai Belgaon, I think, in India, Karnataka.
Abai.
Abai. Sometimes people are a little shy, you know.
No problem, no problem. Actually, Dr. Abel, for actually just now the last case that you shared, the facial stroke one, did the girl actually drank the ash or took the ash? Because this case actually quite common actually among Asian and in Malaysia. I saw few actually among my friends. So what they did is actually they went for acupuncture. You know, the Chinese acupuncture.
Yes.
Otherwise,
definitely.
there's no other solutions for them.
Yes. No, we have seen acupuncture is very good, and some people do some rehabilitation and so on, but it takes a little while, you know. It's very relative. But this lady, you know, she just say in 13 days, gone. You know, in a short time, it recovers so well. It just, you can see it look like normal. And she said she have seen people who have 4 years and they still have some deformation in the face and all these kind of things. And she looks quite fine. But we have seen many more like that. Not just her, but we just happened to catch her by surprise. She didn't even know that you were going to ask, you know, now talk, please. And
she
so
took the ash to also, besides performing.
Yes, like in the ash in front of the fire. Yes. When we do the fire, if we place the hands there, it is energized. We all know that the hands, I mean, the whole body is energy, but send and receiving the hands are very special areas. When we do this around the fire, and then we can use it on ourselves, but taking the ash, the energy goes within and whatever is required. And besides that, energy spread from the fire, the light also affects. Now, as we were saying before, maybe I had to do it myself because I keep telling the people to do it, and I don't. Is to get a aura camera, or you know, there's for photos and or film, because there is such a thing, and do it before and after of Homa Therapy and taking the ash and see what happens. I know what happens. But sometimes people need to see something. So if you have a clinic, just imagine you have a clinic, you have a patient, okay, before we go to this, let me take you a picture here and here and there, and then let's do whatever we do, and then take another picture and see if there is some subtle changes. If that subtle changes is reflected in a physical change, and so in concrete, you might say, well, maybe there is a correspondence, a relationship between this subtle change and this physical thing. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Because
yes, I understand. So you're talking about a Kirinian camera, or
yes,
you know,
Kirlian.
like Dr. Korobov from St. Petersburg University in Russia. He did a lot of experiment with bioenergy, and you know, and he has got a device that can actually look at the bioenergy of the person.
Yeah, there are some which are the angel, the older ones that do it with a finger. You know, they see the aura field on the fingers and so on, and it changes there. But now it is, you can see the whole thing around, and you can see, make a video even before in like real time, the changes that happens. This is possible, and those equipments are not so expensive nowadays. It is really accessible to people, but somebody had to take the role. Fortunately, I mean, somebody want to experiment. If somebody do it, we might have to do it. But to go to the US and look for that is another story. For us in South America, we don't want to move that much that way, but we're moving in South America, as you can see a lot, and we go to other places. But anyway, we have many friends who are willing, I mean, happy to, talking about Malaysian, Dr. Marino, where we're here in Dr. Marino's, he said, oh, Malaysia, Singapore, all this, these are beautiful places. It's nice people. I like to go there. Okay, just go. You know, it's nice people, and they are fire people. So you're going to run into beautiful people over there. Okay. And again, I'd like to say before we go, thanks to Dr. Jesus. You see Dr. Subintaminilla, you see in the gallery. He was the rector, he was the president of our university, already retired. He's doing the fire with his wife. His wife, she have a knee. Well, I will get into. I will get off if I start talking about something else. That's his wife, Sandra. The mother, she was. Okay. She had a knee problem for over 10 years. She was in pain up and down. I mean, if she sit down too long, she have pain. She stand up, she have pain. She have pain with many problems, but she was in one day with Homa Therapy and the eyes gone. Doctor Jesús, yo estoy hablando de su esposa y el dolor en la rodilla que tenía, ¿verdad? Cómo lo que tenía en 10 años se resolvió en un día. Anyway, these educated people who have gone to all type of therapies, but they happen to, you know, he happened to be with this. And anyway, there is much more. Okay, family, any more question before? Because we have all these people, you see, Rocio, Veronica, Shannon, all these, many of these people are wonderful people. Maria, Sajet, Jan. We thank everybody. So Xiaoyan. So this is brother So in Malaysia. So Xiaoyan, or I think So is a no.
No, this is another one.
Okay, there is many So then over there. Okay.
This is Soo. Soo. So again, this is same like the So brother So that you are referring is another one.
Wonderful.
So
no other question.
Can I say something?
Harold, yes, Mr.
Alzheimer.
Well,
Mr. Harold will talk.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay. First of all, sorry, there's no image because I have no camera in this computer. It's not out of shyness, it's just I have no camera. I just wanted to say something. On the first video you were showing, before your computer shut down,
At the end of the video, there was a very interesting part because the woman was talking about her father, who was 86 years old, and he had Alzheimer's disease in a very advanced state, and the medicine didn't work for him, right? So since the medicine didn't work for him, she started giving him the ash, like as a kind of last resort. And then he started improving. He didn't recognize anyone, and then he recognized her and everything. And I think this is amazing. And I'm bringing the subject again because I think it's worth it. Normally, when you see a patient with Alzheimer's, all you can hope is to see them go down and get worse and worse day by day, right? Until the point where they just become completely dependent on other people's care because they can eat, they can wash, they can do anything by themselves. But he started to recognize people, and in the end, it was amazing. I mean, when we were working on this video with the translation and the dubbing, I just couldn't help myself thinking how amazing it was that at one point he was at his wife's birthday and he said, good birthday to you, my love. I mean, I've met people with Alzheimer's. My wife's father died with it, and it was amazing to see how he was losing himself in his body. You know, he wouldn't recognize anyone in the end. And I've seen many people with this thing. It's just amazing to see that maybe with Homa Therapy, we can help people who have these kind of illnesses that there's no hope for them anywhere else. I mean, with no medicine known to man, I ever heard this. Maybe, probably with some miracles, because sometimes you hear people who go in Colombia here, mostly Catholic. Many people go to some churches and pray to some saints, to some images that are believed to have special power. And yes, sometimes those miracles can do.
1 second.
But apart
Harold,
from that, yeah.
Harold, 1 second. Minuto, Harold. Abay,
Yes.
please hang in there. Abay, please hang in there. After Harold finish.
In another 5 minutes, I have the Agnihotra.
I see. Harold, permítame darle espacio al señor Abay que está en la India y le toca Agnihotra en 5 minutos, por favor.
Claro que sí, claro que sí. Eso era todo lo que yo tenía que decir. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
Gracias, Harold. Muy bueno, gracias. Okay.
Thank you.
We have Mr. Abay from India, please.
Yeah.
Please, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with Homa Therapy, Abay? You know, short, like you can do in 2-3 minutes. I know it's a short because you are about Agnihotra, but
Yeah,
whatever.
It is just miraculous. That is absolutely, it is a part of our life now, Agnihotra. And ash can be used absolutely in every field, apart from psychological and even any disorders. It can be used, and a lot of people are experiencing very good benefits of Agnihotra. And of course, I am using it for agriculture. Agriculture is, people normally say that I am running in my life, I am walking in my life, literally I am sealing in my life. That is exactly how you experience once you have Agnihotra, and it does a miraculous effect on every living thing. So definitely, the first is the most subtle is the mind, and it works very beautiful. So thank you very much for giving an opportunity to participate with you and learning lot of things about different aspects of Agnihotra. And still the process is going on, and more things will be known to the human race about Agnihotra as more and more people are going to get the experiences. Thank you very much. I am just leaving because I have to just have my evening Agnihotra. Thank you very much.
So, Abhay is one of the main promoters of Homa Therapy in India, especially in the area of agriculture. And when the plants talk to you, you know, there is no chance of suggestion or belief or anything. That he sees that there are many problems that cannot be cured with a regular biochemical substances or fertilizers or pesticides or anything like that. Homa Therapy take care of that. And he is a professor at the university and he travels all around India teaching this. Anyway, we are very blessed to be in this group, learning, sharing. Well, thanks to Dr. Lennie Soo and Mrs. Hui that the brain and the heart behind this. I inspire, right? You inspire.
Yes, I inspire.
You inspire, right? Wonderful. Okay, I'll let you do the closing, Dr. Soo, Mrs. Hui, because we don't want to abuse the situation.
Okay, don't worry. If anybody the question can still text us or just join us for our next session. This is just to inform everybody. Our next one will be autoimmune diseases for September. So it will be in September, which is which is on the 8th of September, Friday as well. So I think if India, because few of them, like today when we shared, India time will be 5:30 and Malaysia time will be at 8 o'clock. Same time, we are going to talk about autoimmune diseases because today we touched some is about, which is DNA disorder things, which is like some is actually pre-born illnesses. So we are going to go into autoimmune diseases for next month. So please join us next month. And you can actually scan and register and look into the future, all the topics that we have lined up until December this year. So we already scheduled every month, we will go into a specific topics, okay? So for those that in Malaysia who want to join us to practice group Agni Hotra together, if you feel that you're doing alone, it's a bit boring, you want to do together, like what Dr. Abel just now shared, everybody do together, please feel free to join us this Sunday at the rooftop. It's a beautiful garden rooftop. We are going to take off all our shoes and we are going to sit on the grass and do together, which is on 6:15 to prepare everything. So Sunday, this Sunday, please come and join us at the rooftop of Bisma Life Care. It's a medical center at the center of Kuala Lumpur. So maybe next time, Dr. Abel, you will all have chance to come here, so you all can join us together. We do together. Okay, this is our just the next one. So the I-Inspire, you want to know about all coming events, just join our Facebook or Instagram. And thanks everybody for your participation for tonight. And we hope to see you next month. Anything you want to add on, Dr. Abel?
Yes.
Speak up. Please. We have been asked several times where people can see all these series that you have been so beautifully organized and taping. So is there a way, a link in the YouTube or anywhere where people can access?
We are actually buffering the past 3. Today is our 4th series. So what we plan to do is that we will compile into a series and then we will upload in YouTube. We have been doing the recording, so we will upload in YouTube and share with Dr. Abel. Then maybe Dr. Abel can share with your group because there are few Homa Therapy groups, right?
Yes, well,
because Dr. Abel, you have muted yourself, Dr. Abel. You have muted yourself, Dr. Abel.
Because yes, whatever we have, we're sharing. We'll share with you everything. But these meetings that you have, if you can post it, if you can put it in YouTube or any way that people are accessible. A lot of people are asking me where because at that time I cannot see. It needs
the past one. Okay, no problem. We will post it in YouTube and then we will share the YouTube link, including today and the past 3 series, because we have mental health, cardiovascular illnesses, and respiratory illnesses. And today our 4th one is the CNS system. And the 5th one next month we are going to talk about is autoimmune diseases. So we will label all the title topics, and we have all titles linked up until December this year. Okay, we will
Wonderful.
upload in YouTube, and then we will share with everybody. So
Let me say it in Spanish. Let me say it in Spanish so they know.
Okay.
Estos encuentros se van a poner en YouTube y van a estar al alcance de todos. Y lo más seguro que en YouTube se le pueden poner subtítulos y pueden pues es más fácil de comprender todo. Pero gracias a todos por acompañarnos en estos momentos de grandes aprendizajes. And I'm telling everybody this will be posted on YouTube, and at the same time thanking everyone for bringing the light, their love and their care into this meeting, because we're going through great changes, and this brings a lot of hope and optimism, positive vibrations and so on, that we can use and share with anybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we hope to see everybody next month. Okay? September.
Om Shri Om, Om Shri Om.
por todo. Muchas gracias.
Om Shri Doctor, Om Shri, Om Shri. Doctor, Om Shri.
Thank you, everybody, and goodbye. See you next month. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.